Hey, what's going on? Keith here from Sports Vibes TV, and I'm joined by our special guest, George from Into the Knicks-Verse. George, how's everything with you?
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for having me on, Keys. I'm excited to talk about this game. This is going to be an interesting game. Really
Very
interesting.
interesting game.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Bucks are gonna be back for revenge, so we'll be pre-gaming the Knicks versus the Bucks tonight. They'll be at the Garden. It'll be a marquee matchup. We'll have Giannis versus our guy Julius Randle. But before we get into it, George, I just want to know some of your thoughts on the previous game in which we were able to get a win over a 76ers team that didn't have all their primary pieces. So just give me a little bit of your thoughts on what happened in that game and some things you want the Knicks to improve upon coming into this game against the Bucks.
Well, it's a great question. Actually, I was doing a little testing earlier, adjusting my camera. I moved it back a little bit and messing around with the mic, and then I just started talking. Just
Mhm.
recording it. And one of the things I was talking about was the defense on this team. Like should we be worried about the defense right now? And I mean, after really like breaking it down, here's basically we're living in the upside down right now compared to last season. Last season we had a lower tier offense and an upper tier defense. Like we had an elite defense and we had like I think we were bottom 5 in offense, I believe.
Now it's a role reversal.
Yeah, it's a total role reversal. Exactly. I think our offense did improve as we went on. I mean, I know it did improve as we went on, and I think we reached around the middling range, which is around I think 15. I'm not 100% on that, but I know we did improve, and our defense also improved, but our defense improved dramatically. I think it's easier to improve your defense as a team in season than it is to improve your offense. Offense is skill. You either are a great shooter, a great finisher, a great passer, or you're not. And to become better, you have to work on that off in the off season. During the season, you can definitely apply things, but defense is about understanding the scheme, familiarity with your fellow teammates. That part is also true with offense, but it's primarily effort.
Yep.
And that is something that's easy to fix in season. So the odds that we will get better defensively are a much higher probability than that we will get worse offensively because we have some incredibly highly skilled offensive players. And I think if we take a snapshot, I think if we extrapolate what we've seen in the first 11 games, if we got that the whole season offensively, we'd be fine. Because right now, we have the number 3 offensive team in the NBA in terms of points scored. So, I mean, if we drop a little bit, what do we drop to 5? I mean, I think, and then if our defense focus starts locking in, oh, there we go. Awesome. Yeah, there you go. Third rank, 111 points, 0.7 points. And just to also support that, our net rating, which is the per 100 possessions, is 2.0, which is for 10th. So, but that's being brought down by the defensive rating. So as that goes up, we would be a top 4 net rating team in the NBA. Our plus minus is 2.4, which is also good for 10th. Our rebounding is 46.3, as you got here, which is good for 9th. The rebounding, that's a really great stat. I'm glad that we're up there in terms of
Yep.
rebounding because I had a feeling we were at first when I don't know. What did you think when you? I thought we were not doing that great rebounding wise.
It's certain things we weren't doing great. Like without Mitch, we struggle with offensive rebounding. But what I found interesting in the game against the 76ers, everybody was killing the team because Andre Drummond went off with his rebound total. But if you look at it, the Knicks won the rebounding battle in that game. It was what, 55-47, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's without
overwhelmingly.
Mitch. Yeah, that's without Mitch. And that's with Nerlens Noel only playing what, 12 or 13 minutes and going out with injury. So rebounding, I think the team showed a lot of effort in that game against the 76ers. So I don't know why people wanted to single out Andre Drummond going off. We really didn't have any senses down there to bang with him. And if you look at it, we rebounded as a team. Randall had 12, RJ had 10. I think Burks had 7.
We have good rebounding guards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that help.
We have a pretty good one on the bench too in Grimes.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I love our bench. I love our team. I mean, I'm so hype about this team. I mean, yeah, that win the other night. I mean, basically, fans, we treated it as almost as a loss. We treated that win as a semi-loss, emotionally, just in terms of confidence. And I get it. I understand it. But I mean, come on. How many years did we go with never beating the Sixers at all? And now we've beaten them twice. And in Philly, we won. That's a game we lose last season. We did lose it last season.
Yeah, we lost it historically, like you said.
Yeah.
15 in a row.
I think what was that, like 4 years in a row? We
played them 4 times a year. 4 goes into 15, 3 point something. So
about
around 4.
So, hey, salute to the chat. Thank you guys for joining us.
Really Michael West is saying, okay, fair analysis, George. Peter Rodriguez is saying trade for Drummond. I don't see why. Don't think so. He's wanted to trade Walker for Drummond. Yeah, if we really wanted him, we could have made the deal, but I just don't see him as a fit for this team. The team has issues defensively, and Drummond, the only way he's going to help the defense out is ending the defensive possession by grabbing a rebound. Outside of that, he's not going to be helpful at all. And George, you started by talking about the defense, and that's one area we have to improve. And I think I really want to see how Tibbs adjusts and what he does in order to help some of this perimeter defense. If you look at the last game during his press conference, he really gave a lot of praise to the Derrick Rose, Emmanuel Quickley, and RJ Barrett pairing out there on the court. They did a lot of good things for us in that Bucks game. And I expect us to see that trio, that 3-guard lineup pretty heavily in this game, especially if we see some of the guards like Grayson Allen go off. Grayson Allen, he went off on us, but if you look at his game yesterday against, as spoken 76ers, he had 25 points. And in the month of November, in 4 games, he's averaging 18.5 points per game, and he's shooting over 50% from the field and over 50% from 3. So if Grayson Allen is about to have one of those games where he's going to go off in the first quarter again, you might see Tibbs go to this lineup. And I think offensively, he spoke highly of it, the fact that they all can put the ball on the floor, create for themselves, or pass to teammates. But I think it's defensively where you really see a step up with that unit. I know a lot of people are going to say Derrick Rose isn't that much of a step up from Kemba Walker, but I think we all would agree it is a step up. And then you replace Evan Fournier, whose defensive rating this season per NBA.com is 111.9, and you replace him with Quick, whose defensive rating is 101.2. And you can see that lineup starts to get a little bit better with the perimeter defense. And we have Mitchell Robinson, who will be available. We probably should have started the show with that. So if we see this team be a little bit leaky on the perimeter, I would highly expect Tibbs to at least try that lineup, since he's been hesitant to go down the bench and bring in a Grimes or a McBride.
I agree. I just want to kind of clarify something, because I've been a little bit hard on Tibbs and his rotations. But actually, one thing that I forgot to really say is that he actually has been experimenting. It's subtle. It just hasn't been as dramatic as we would want it to be. He hasn't done it as quickly. He hasn't pulled the trigger as quickly as we want it to be.
He's been gun shy.
Yeah, but he has been tinkering. He's been trying things out. And I spent a lot of time today reading and listening to other people's take on what's going on defensively and looking at the stats. And one thing that's really important for us as a fan base to take note is that Tibbs' defensive scheme is incredibly complex compared to the rest of the NBA. So you have 2 guys that have been in the NBA for, about a decade each, Fournier and Kemba, that are coming here. And it's going to take them a while to understand who went to help, when not to help, when to stick with their guy, and that's just going to come. That's just going to come with reps on the floor. So I have high confidence that they're going to get it eventually. And at this, and the inverse of it is that Thibs will also tweak his defensive scheme to help make the transition and the learning process a little smoother, a little easier. That's what I'm hoping. Going to give that.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping.
Yeah.
You never know with Tibbs, man. He's been stuck in his ways for some time. It was nice to see him start turning to Grimes and starting to get him in. You think we'll be able to see him get some minutes? Or you think Tibbs will stick with that 3-guard lineup?
Every time we talk about this all the time. Every time I say, "Oh, it's good, we're going to see Grimes and do
prime time."
Yeah, but then we saw Grimes for a whole fourth quarter.
Yep.
So you never know. It's going to be interesting. I think. My opinion is absolutely every single game Thibs should try to find 4 or 5 minutes for Grimes, and then once that's established, then try to find those 4 or 5 minutes for Deuce that he takes away equally from Kemba and Rose, just to keep those guys fresher for when they come back in, whoever's hot for the fourth quarter. Because right now what we got going is Kemba starts, plays about 7, 8, 9 minutes. Rose comes in, he plays sometimes through the end.
Depending on how good Kemba's playing.
Exactly, through the end of the first half. Then Kemba
call
starts,
that the Alfred Payton treatment.
Yeah, the elf. He's getting the elf treatment. But we've also seen Kemba come back in to close games.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And in those nights that Rose is not quite as sharp, or maybe it's a matter of minutes or whatever. But it'd be nice if somewhere in between there, in that second quarter or early fourth quarter or late third quarter, if he could find 4 minutes for Deuce to kind of give those guys a little rest instead of using Burks or IQ as that point. I would rather have those minutes go to, because I think it's going to pay off in the long run. I'm looking at this from a full season point of view. We bring those guys along.
A situation like Trey and Frank in the playoffs. You want them to at least be acclimated, be in the game flow, at least be used to being in the rotation as opposed to getting put out there ice cold. I hear you, George. I feel you.
Exactly.
George, you want to shout a couple people out?
Yes.
From SV Nation in the chat, we've got Delano Still saying salute to the bro at Sports Vibes TV. He's also saying salute to George at Into The Knicks-Verse.
Salute,
if you guys,
Delano.
This is your first time seeing George, I got his channel linked in the description. Actually, I think I just have it linked in the title. By the end of this, I'll put it in the description as well. So if you want to check out his channel and hear more from his viewpoint, make sure you guys check him out and like, subscribe, and notifications on for his videos as well. Jonathan Green is also saying salute Sport Vibe TV. Go ahead.
Shout out to G-Man. Sergeant Nicks.
Oh, Sarge. Yeah, Sarge is in the building.
Sergeant's in the building. Shout out, brother.
What's good, fellas? Salute to Knicks Nation. Yeah, we're trying to get a win tonight. This will be a big win to go 2-0 against the defending champs.
Yes.
That would be a big about face from.
Can you imagine we win
as a franchise?
Yeah, the two teams. I mean, the two of the three teams that finished in the top last season, we would win 4 games from them at the beginning of the season. Yeah. There's no way to discount that. Once if we're able to take care of business. Shout out to Sincere the Genius. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, I saw him in the chat as well.
Yeah, still Knicks fans.
Still Knicks fans in the building. Peter Rodriguez is saying he killed us last time. I'm guessing he's talking about Grayson Allen. We keep allowing players to have career quarters against us.
Yes, yes, we do.
My guy, Nudie 25 was good, Keys. Go ahead, Judge.
We're kind of paying it forward. But I want one of our guys to have a career quarter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to Boost and Project Nerd. What's up, brother?
Boost and Project Nerd are in the building. Boost is saying salute to the chat and my guy Keith and Into the Knicks-Verse podcast. Project Nerd HQ is saying salute. Julian Blum, my bro, salute at Spooks Mobile. So, George, you actually watched the Bucks versus 76ers game last night.
Yes.
Did you see any holes in the Bucks game that the Knicks could attempt to try to exploit coming up tonight? Because we know the Bucks are going to try to make some adjustments, and we also know they're coming off a back to back. So some things are going to be in the Knicks' favor. Like I said, we also have Mitch coming back, or he's available. Hopefully, he's able to actually get in and play. So from what you saw last night in the game between the Bucks and the 76ers, did you see anything that the Knicks can kind of do to get an advantage in the game tonight?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing is we can't let the ball stick anywhere. Because on especially with this team, if the ball sticks with somebody, immediately they're going to start getting closed out, and it's going to be a problem. And Bucks are excellent at causing turnovers historically. If we keep the ball moving, and we have a great chance to basically replicate what we did in Milwaukee without having to make a comeback. We just jump out, get a lead, hold on to that lead. I just noticed it, and I'm curious what you feel in the chat or whatever. I mean, do you guys think sometimes we see like a Jekyll and Hyde team?
Yes,
within
I
the
was
same
thinking the
game?
same thing. It's usually we're solid for 3 quarters, 2 3 quarters, and then we just have that real bad quarter that things just go awry. Like if you look at the game against the 76ers, we outplayed them for 3 of those quarters. It was just the third where we just couldn't get a shot to drop. I think Julius Randle knocked he knocked down 3 shots, and the team as a whole only knocked 5. So it's disheartening. It's concerning, definitely, to see us whittle away leads in second halves of games. But hopefully, Tibbs will be able to whip us into shape, because we can't continue to do this, because it's not going to be a recipe for success.
Yeah, because and basically we're going to end up in a situation where we're not going to be able to make a comeback, or we'll make one of these attempts at a comeback and just never quite get over that hump. Which we've seen that.
We've seen that, yeah. We've seen that already.
That's what was so different about the Bucks game. That was an actual comeback that we were able not only to come to actually tie it, but just take the lead and never give the lead back.
And lead comfortably. They were taking Giannis out, for 4 minutes left to go? 4 minutes left to go, something like that?
Yeah.
They were waving the white flag?
Pretty much. Because they knew they could see that nothing was going to change. That we were going to win that game regardless. So unlike other games where we've totally given away leads late in the fourth, even, man. Someone wrote, Dan Marrero wrote, yes, they are good wins, but let's not forget that the Sixers and the Bucks are short-staffed. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. However, that's by design with these Knicks. We have health and on our side generally. That's the idea, especially when our 2 best players never get hurt. So that's our secret.
Knock on the wood, George. Knock on the
wood. Knock on the wood. Knock on the wood. Yeah. I mean, we may not have an all defensive player, or may not be loaded up and down yet.
RJ and Mitch both have something to say about that this season.
Yes, they do. But one of the competitive advantages that we have is that we have guys that are available every night. Now, in the 5 position, that's our one weakness, and luckily, Mitch is playing tonight.
Yeah, Dan was correct. Those teams are shorthanded, but if you look at the Bucks, they still had former MVP and Giannis out there on the court, and I feel like you can only play who they put in front of you, and the Knicks could have easily rolled over and not fought back in that game against the Bucks. And the fact that we were able to have a historic comeback, overcome a 21-point deficit, and be able to win by double digits, I think that shows that the team has a lot of heart. And what we need to see now is this team go out there and give us a solid 4 quarters of that intensity. And if we do that, we'll be fine, because I think when we play solid defense, it allows us to get in transition. If you look at the same game against the 76ers, we killed them in transition. We had 23 points to their 5 points in transition. Yeah. And a lot of our guys look great when they're in the open court. Obi, RJ, IQ. And we saw them all come up big in that game against the 76ers in transition. So if we can start getting more stops, allowing our guys, because if you look at this team at any given time, we have at least 4 players that can either get the ball and push it up the court, or they can get the ball and outlet. And, that's
a huge
way to put a
difference
lot
from
of
last year.
Exactly. And it puts a lot of pressure on opposing teams. So if we can get those stops, get us in transition, and start looking like that 7-second or less Suns team, I think this team will be in good shape.
One thing I have a question for you, Quis, and the chat. Which game this season have you been most satisfied with the Knicks from beginning to end?
When we punched Orlando in the mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That game is so long ago. I almost forgot all about it.
Yeah, I almost forgot about it too. And then you said it, and I'm like, what game did I not feel like I lost some here? And it was going to probably be the first Orlando Magic game. And then they put a beating on us the following game. And then I was like, oh my God.
That's what, that beating that they gave us, it almost wiped away that first one.
Exactly.
In my mind.
If I was living in the moment, it's probably the Bucks game.
The first Sixers game. That's Peter Rodriguez and Knicks 100 AGA. Hey, shout out to you, brother. Knicks 100A GM.
Yeah, Knicks 100 game says 76ers as well.
Yeah, that may be I think that probably, other than the Magic game. But the Magic is they're not a good team, but
they're not in our league.
Yeah, they're not in our league.
Even though we played down to them in the following game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the schedule, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything, because we do have a good schedule. But I hope towards the end of the season we don't look at some of these games as missed opportunities.
Oh, we will. We will. We will. Well, even the Toronto game, we had that lead. That was just Barnes wasn't playing. There was just no reason we should have lost that game, despite what Raptors fans say.
Yeah, I saw a crazy stat too. The Knicks this season, we're giving up career games. I think career highs in points per game to teams like crazy. I think OG Anunoby had his career high with that 35-point game. Jaylen Brown with his 46-point game, and I forgot it was one more
Rubio.
person, I can't remember. Okay, Rubio, yeah.
Rubio, How could you forget that one?
I didn't know it was his career high. I know he was going crazy, but
that was his career high.
Yeah. Oh man, we definitely have to shore up this defense. I know it's great to get Mitch back. That'll help, but we got to shore up things out there on the perimeter. I mean, last game when we attacked, I'm trying to think how we defended Giannis. I know in the beginning we doubled him a lot, and that allowed them to get a lot of shooters open. That's what really I think got Grayson Allen started. The fact that we were doubling Giannis and then he was able to find some shooters. So I'm really interested to see how Tibbs. What kind of defensive game plan do they go, or do they try to use against Antetokounmpo?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think they're going to try to double again?
I'm pretty sure they're going to come with the same strategy. The thing is, unfortunately, the one guy who was very effective against him was Nerlens. Giannis, I don't know if you guys noticed, but he had a problem with Nerlens. Nerlens, he has that great catch-up ability, and he's such a skilled shot blocker without fouling that it really messed with Giannis. Because even though Giannis could kind of get past Nerlens, he also knew, he's going to catch up to me, because we had someone else kind of help to kind of block Giannis's path, so Giannis would try to kind of shift over into the paint to go directly over, but then Nerlens would come and swat it. So then Giannis started second guessing himself. And then he started
intimidation factor.
Yes. Just I'll take the easier shot, which is this 3-pointer, which we want him to take those.
That's what we want. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're not going to have him. I don't expect Mitch to play Giannis the way Nerlens did. So that's going to be interesting. I think Giannis is probably going to have a better night tonight than he did in Milwaukee.
You think so after the back-to-back?
Yeah.
On the second half of the back-to-back?
Yeah. First of all, his nickname, he's a freak. So back-to-back, he could probably play 4 games in a row and still, deliver.
I forgot what game it was. He took a spill and I thought it was over for him, and he just popped right back up like it was nothing. I was like, wow, God bless him.
That was him in the playoffs.
That was that the spill he took? I remember it, but I just can't remember the time and
I
place.
thought he got messed up. I think it was his thigh bone or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What is he? I think he what is he hyperextended it or something like that?
Yeah. Oh, the knee.
Was his knee?
That was the knee. Yeah. But that was, I mean, I think he had like 2 other injuries like that or spills that I thought, oh, it's done. He's done. But no. Hey, salute Big Task.
Hey, Big Task in the building.
Yeah. Peter. Oh, Lex
the
Destroyer, brother. Thank you, man.
We got the mod squad in the building.
Hit the thumbs ups, guys.
Lex,
I definitely
Boost,
appreciate that. And drop your comments later if you want. If you have any other follow-up questions and stuff, because we check the comments after live streams too.
Yep, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got to deal with it all, man. During the good times and the bad times.
That's right, man.
Jonathan Green is saying we need to guard the 3-point line all game long. That's how we are losing. We need to tunnel the other team to the paint and force them into tough contested shots over our bigs and whoever is guarding.
Jonathan, that's a great point, and that's part of what Kemba and Fournier lack, and they have to learn, because that is the defensive scheme that Thibs has set up. We want to frighten people off the 3-point line, force them to drive into the heart of the defense, which is anchored by Mitch or Nerlens or Taj. That's the scheme.
And if you want to say a second or two, Sims. That was crazy. I had texted you during the game. I said, I turned around, I looked, Sims is coming into the game. I turn around again, I see Julius Randle out there with 4 guards. I said, what's happening here? What happened? What did I miss? All I did was blink.
Yeah. I found out later with that, because I was confused too. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
It was because they took...
they went small.
Yeah, they went small. They took Drummond out.
Mm-hmm.
They went small. So then they were like, wait a second, we'll go small too.
Yeah, it looked funny though. It looked funny because I knew I saw the Carlito here, and I'm like, all right, he's in the game. And the next thing you know, Julius Randle's playing center, and he's got RJ playing the 4. I'm like, okay, RJ over Obi, all right, let's see how this goes.
And he did a good job.
Yeah. And what's crazy is Ian Bagley had mentioned that before the season, that the Knicks were seriously considering playing RJ more at the 4. So to see them implement it now throughout the season, it's going to be something that I think the Knicks are going to surprise people with, because it really caught me off guard. And even though I read the article and knew it was something that they could do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's possible that we could play small tonight. I mean, I know Giannis.
Depends, yeah.
Yeah, Giannis and Randle.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he could punish Randle, not punish him, but he could take a lot out of him, so then it weakens him on the offensive end.
Yep.
But they're not going to, what do they have? They have Bobby Portis, because they don't have Brook.
Brook is out.
And Middleton's out. So who else played the center for them last game?
Ojale gets some minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's about it. In terms of big, yeah.
Isn't he known as like the strongest guy in the NBA or something?
Yes, he's, they
by
use the term
lifting.
Aki. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think somebody call him a Greek god during the broadcast?
I think so.
I might have been Clyde. I was like, okay, if that's the term you want to go with, more power to you. Oh man, Clyde is a gem. Some of his sayings are going to live with me for the rest of my life. I tell you,
Clyde. Clyde's he's like the reason I fell in love with basketball, man. Watching him as a kid. Yeah, the shit he used to do. Actually, someone posted a great old video on Twitter about him. It was like just a few seconds where he like made some incredible shot and then stole the inbound pass, laid it up, and then I think he stole another pass. Yeah, it was just all within like a few. Like
he pulled a Tracy McGrady. Or matter of fact, Tracy McGrady pulled the Clyde. Got to give him the respect.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right. Oh, Thanasis was at the 5. That's true. Hey, what's up, Fulio?
Oh, Fulio's in the building.
What's happening, brother? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Thanos had some time at the 5 there. Would love Peter Rodriguez. I would love to see McBride guard Young on Christmas. Yeah,
that would be interesting. I mean, it would be a bright spot to put him in.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Tibbs would decide to do that. That'd be interesting, though.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we finally get to see the matchup everybody's been clamoring for.
Well, that's why I said earlier, he's got to start finding him those 4 minutes per game so that when we actually really need him, boom, that tool is ready to go. You can't just throw him out there like we give him the Frank treatment in the playoffs. Here's 9 seconds. Go stop the most lethal point guard right now. It's like, what? You can't do that to him.
Our guy Derek is in the building saying salute.
Hey, what's up, Derek? Who's your player of the game?
Yeah, I was just about to pull that up. Who's the player of the game, George?
Like who's going to have the best results tonight?
I guess we could do player of the game and an X factor. You think the guy is going to perform the best during the game, and you think somebody who's going to be instrumental in us pulling, leaving like we're going to be in Milwaukee or exiting the Garden with a W.
Yes, I'm gonna go with Evan Fournier
as player of the game.
Yeah, I saw he had a nice first quarter last game, and then he did struggle. But when he came back in, he definitely he showed me a little something. I think he's starting to slightly get it. So I think, and again, because he's an offensive minded player, just like Kemba, when they don't deliver on the offensive end, their defense just goes out the window. But I think he might be starting to kind of like shift that mindset where like, hey, if my shot's not dropping, at least I can still give the effort on the other end. I have a feeling he might have a good. I'm expecting a breakout game from him, and the other one is IQ. I think he can carry over. I mean, he's been coming on nicely lately in the past few games.
So then you have Fournier as your player of the game, and then Quick as your X factor.
Yeah.
Okay,
so it's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say my player of the game is gonna be RJ Barrett. I'm looking for him to get back into that 20 points per game range. I think, as we've already mentioned, the Bucks outside of Giannis aren't going to have the size, I think, in the paint to really bother RJ. And I think RJ's been thriving in the paint. So I expect to see him to get into the paint, finish. And also I want this team to get into transition. And I think that's going to benefit RJ Barrett. I also think he's the player of the game because we're going to need his defense out there on the perimeter. So if he's elevating his level of play on the defensive end and he's out there putting up 20 points for us, then you're going to look at this team and you're going to say the team's going to win more nights than not. I'm expecting Julius Randle to give us what Julius Randle gives us on most nights. That's 20 and 10. And if he doesn't get 20, it'll be 16 and 18. So RJ Barrett, I'm looking to be my player of the game. And I would probably side with you on Emmanuel quickly being a X factor, but I guess just to throw something different in there, I would probably say D Rose. D Rose went off the last time he went out against the Bucks. So I think he was 10 of 18 from the field and
23 points.
Yeah, and I think he has a burst this season, and he is really that engine of the second unit. And if you look at this team, the Milwaukee Bucks are going to be depleted. And we have a very deep team, even without Nerlens Noel. So if Derrick Rose is going out there, going up against a second unit that doesn't have the usual talent out there, I expect him to exceed, to thrive tonight. Once again, they're not going to have bigs in the paint to really bother Derrick Rose. And we've seen he's been able to get into the paint, finish, operate in the mid-range. And if he's able to knock down his three, then, it's going to be a long night for the Bucks, I believe. It's just if those two are able to do what I'm hoping or expecting from them tonight, then this is going to be one of those games where maybe we see Giannis sit down early as well. I mean, again, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm praying for. Derek is saying Grayson Allen's about to cook us. I think we're going to have something for him.
Hey, RJ, I think that was his last 20-point game.
The Bucks
was against the Bucks.
So it's time for him to get back on track.
Yeah, he was 8 of 21. He did have to put up 21 shots to get to 20.
It wasn't the most efficient night for him.
No, it wasn't. But he got us the points. He was still a plus 15.
Mm-hmm.
It shows. And that was the game when Rose was a plus 31.
Yeah.
He was unbelievably.
He's the one that brought us back.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yes.
Josh, Uncle Fulio is saying Julius is going to outplay Giannis again. I hope so. He's rested, and Giannis is coming off trying to help his team mount a comeback against the 76ers last night.
That'd be nice. I mean,
So
even if they just kind of like was a wash between those two, we want to win this game.
Yep.
You know, if they both give us 22 points, Knicks win this game.
Yeah, now if Giannis goes for 35 and 17.
Yeah, which is totally possible, easily possible with him.
Yeah, and then you have Grayson Allen in the side card. If he just does what he's averaging in the month of November, that's 18, you know, they're going to be dangerous. If you got Giannis shooting 35, Grayson Allen in the side card shooting 18, then that's a pretty decent amount of points right there.
Yeah. I feel good. I feel pretty confident about this game. Mostly because the Bucks had to play last night against the Sixers, and it was a battle. You know, for a while I thought the Sixers were going to win, but you know they were able to pull the win out in Brooklyn. So it's still weird to me that the Nets are in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I mean, I forget at times because I don't really go to Brooklyn too much. So out of sight, out of mind. I forget they're over there.
I call them the Jersey Nets all the time.
Yeah, I do too at times. I do too. You know, I don't know why they had to come into our backyard. You know, Jersey's big enough for them. They could have stayed over there, but hey, they want to perform in the bright lights, but unfortunately, nobody really wants to see them. They'll figure it out. God bless them. Wish them nothing the best. But as we all know, New York is a Knicks town and forever will be.
Actually, Quickly had a pretty decent game against the Bucks last time.
Yeah, was it?
He gave us 9 points. Yeah, 9 points, but he was a plus 18 for the 18 minutes he was on the court. Shot 4 of 9, only 1 of 3 from behind the arc. But I think that was the game that we started to see.
Started to percolate, as Clyde says.
Percolate, yes. Yeah, so I think he's a good X Factor pick.
Yeah. Big task at hand is saying, if you are new to the channel, welcome to Sports Vibes TV. We are happy to have you here. Yep, if you're new, just let us know in the chats. Just hashtag new, and we'll give you a shout out. Jonathan Green is saying, my player of the game is Julius Randle. Again, we go as he goes. I think with Julius Randle is interesting because you can say with Julius Randle, we go as he goes, but it depends because he doesn't have to have a high scoring output. You know, he can get his 16, 18.
Not this year.
And we'll, I mean, even there were times last season when Reggie would get hot and IQ might have a game where he didn't have to drop the 20 and 10. He can have an off night and we'd still find a way to pull it through. This season, I think it's easier for us to do that because we have more talent and we've seen it already a couple times. So for Julius Randle, for him to have a good game, I just need him to move the rock because whenever he feels like his teammates aren't knocking their shots, he goes ISO crazy and then he tries to force the issue. And I think that just exacerbates the issue. So if he's continuing to play within the flow of the offense, move the rock, and at times attack mismatches, then this team offensively should be able to get into a groove, I think, especially playing in front of the home crowd and being able to thrive off that energy.
Yeah. I really want to see Julius completely abandon that long mid-range game. It's just not there for him. I think he's shooting something frightening, like 18% or so. I mean, I got to look up the exact stat, but it's crazy low. And he takes it, and I think it throws him out of his rhythm when he sees it not connect. And then he's thinking about it too much while he's on the defensive end, and then he's distracted on the defensive end. For him, when his 3-point shot is dropping, I feel like nobody can beat us. Nobody can beat us. So they should get him that top of the arc, straight on 3-point look early in the game. Let him have a couple of looks like that. When he sees those switch through, he's a completely different kind of guy. He's willing to share the ball more. You know, he doesn't get so locked in to kind of make up for that, missed shot that he made and try to over ISO and over dribble and try to drive the lane and then, turn the ball over. That's the Julius that we don't want to see. For sure.
Mm-hmm. And now he's not doing the spin move anymore. Now he's doing the hop step. They're doing a little hop gather into traffic.
Yeah.
No more spin move. Something new now.
something new to freak us out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
Oh man. All right. Well, what do
Julius.
you think? You think we're gonna win tonight?
We should win. I think we'll win. We're gonna win. You would hope that we would go out there and be able to win this game with them not having Chris Middleton, with them not having Brooke Lopez, and us having already gotten a dub last week. So I do hope we go out there and win, and I think we're gonna go out there and win. But as you said with the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde comment, it all depends on what New York Knicks team we see out there tonight.
Yeah.
If we see the team that's out there giving 100% of their energy and effort out there on the defensive end, then this is going to be a game where I think the Knicks are going to be able to get control early and build a comfortable lead. I don't think we're going to win by like 20 or anything like that, but we should be able to enter the fourth quarter with maybe an 8-10 point lead and just have to coast. And I won't say coast because you say coast with this team and then it's like they take the foot off the gas.
You can't say coast with these guys.
At all, but at least have a comfortable lead. So even if things get dicey, they got a player like Giannis who can explode at any point in time. I just want us to have the ability to look back at this game and be proud of the performance and not have to go and be able to nitpick a bunch of different issues that are gonna potentially hold us back as the season progresses.
Yeah, I agree. In the chat, I'm seeing a little bit of a discussion about Sims.
Yeah,
I don't think
something
Sims
about.
is gonna. I don't think Sims is gonna because Mitch is playing, so it's gonna be Mitch and Taj,
and
then there'll be some small ball.
Yeah, Ashley Inc. One was saying I think Sims can stay with Giannis. I don't know about that. I think Sims' biggest issue isn't necessarily his individual defenses when it comes to having to rotate and protect the paint when the guards out there penetrate. I think that's probably one of the bigger issues with Sims as opposed to him getting cooked one-on-one. But I really don't see Sims being able to stay with the Greek Freak. I mean, he's an athletic specimen, if you want to call him that, but Giannis is different. He's an MVP for a reason. He's an MVP with no dribble moves.
And his strength,
no dribble move. Yeah.
Sims has never played against someone that strong and that agile before. Michael West, his comment, Fournier played better defense last game. Kemba played better defense too. I would definitely agree about Fournier. Kemba, I mean, let's put it this way, he didn't look as bad as we've seen him, but that's part of the thing. They're starting to understand the scheme. It's just going to take a while.
Yep,
it's going to take a while, and they're not used to playing with that defensive intensity for a full 48. These two guys, they're just not. It's just who they are. But they will.
Remember, George,
they will.
Kemba is a superstar. Superstars aren't expected to play that level of defense.
Exactly.
I mean, now he's only making $8 million a year, so it's a different story. He's got to step up his game defensively. And the same thing with Evan Fournier. Not necessarily, focusing a lot of their energy on the defensive end because their teams needed them to give higher volume output on the offensive side. And also, George, I wanted to mention something. You were talking about the long twos. I can't remember the exact stat I sent you in the group text, but it was talking about how the Knicks are one of, if not the worst team at the long two. And I was saying, who's the one that's really taking those long twos? It's Julius Randle, and that's not the shot that really gets him going. That's kind of like you said, the shot that gets him out of his groove. Citizen X. Go ahead.
Especially also, he was the top scorer from the right baseline last season, the entire NBA.
Yep.
He hits it once in a while this season, but not at the clip he was doing last season. We're just not seeing that. But what we are seeing from him, which is awesome, is he is going to the cup and he's dunking that donut. He's complete. How many dunks? I haven't seen him dunk this much. I don't think he dunked all last season as much as he's already dunked this season.
Yeah, he was giving me Zach Randolph vibes down in the paint. Not trying to get up off the floor. But now it's a different story.
Yeah.
Also, George, I want to give a shout out to Kevin Anderson. He's saying, I'm new. Hi, guys. So
hey, welcome.
Thank you for joining the discussion. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel and also subscribe to George's channel as well. If you haven't liked or smashed that like button, that would be a great time to do so. We currently have 44 likes with 83 in chat. So if we can get that like number a little bit closer to the people we have in chat, it'd be greatly appreciated.
All right, the long mid-range. The long mid-range, we're in 17. Oh, that's frequency. Hold on. Here's the accuracy. Because I got to find out now. Now, once you put that out there, I'm like, it'll stick in my head until I get the info. The Knicks overall are 25th in the NBA. 36.2% from overall mid-range. Eek. And from the long mid-range, we are 29th. We are the second worst in long mid-range. Well, for one, it's a terrible shot. It's a ridiculous shot to be a foot or two away from the 3-point line and to take that shot. It's a mistake. It's a game theory mistake. Yeah. You just step back or step closer. Increase your chances of making the shot by stepping closer, or get rewarded for making the shot by an extra point by stepping back. I mean, now sometimes you have to take that shot because the shot clock's running down and whatever. It's the only look you got. Take it. But to take that shot early in the shot clock, that's just ridiculous. But our rim game, the New York Knicks, get this, are 5th in the entire NBA in finishing at the rim right now, 68.8%. Only Utah, Phoenix, Denver, and guess who's number 1?
The Bucks.
No, but the Bucks are 9th.
Okay. So who would be number 1?
The Washington Wizards.
Wow.
How crazy is that? The Wizards, man. And it was on this show.
There's a surprise.
Shout out to Foxy. On this show, Foxy highlighted, he said the Wizards, don't sleep on the Wizards. I don't know exactly his words, but he said that they're going to be better than people expect. And he's right.
Yeah, I was sleeping on them. Out cold. Hit the snooze button. I was asleep.
Yeah.
All right, George. We'll wrap it up here.
All right, man. This was great.
Show.
Yeah.
Great show. SV Nation, thank you guys for tuning in as well.
So much. Thanks so much, man. Herbie Mack. Shout out, brother.
Yeah.
Lex, Michael West.
Hey,
Big
look,
Task,
Samuel
Boost.
Oviedo. He's saying Vildoza and D Rose would be better. Yeah, man. Vildoza get well soon. He's still, recovering, recuperating. I still follow him on the gram, so I see him doing his thing, try to come back better than ever. So, shout out to him. I hope he's able to have a quick recovery and finally realize his dream of playing in the NBA. So,
yeah. So, Evan is a mid-range player. He's actually a good mate. It's different to be a 3-level player. I mean, you want that. That's you want a long range, mid-range, and a rim finishing player. Of course, that's why he's much more valuable than Reggie Bullock was offensively. All right, guys.
Just reminding you guys, make sure you guys smash that like button on the way out.
Yep. And I'll be doing a post game. I'll be doing a post game after this awesome victory. Or whatever the results. But we're gonna win.
Fingers crossed I'll be able to get home in time from work to do a post game.
Yeah.
If not, maybe I'll do something tomorrow, get it out there and talk to you guys, recap the game or something like that.
Awesome. Yeah.
Boost, thank you for reminding me.
Gotta have those Quis recaps, man.
Yeah, Boost, Lex. Thank you guys for holding me down. Big Task as well. You guys are the best mods in the world. You guys keep me on track and help me run a nice, calm, easy, fun show. And that's why we always go over time here.
And we're going to try to do this.
How long did we say?
Yeah, we said 45. We're at 49. We're going to try to do this on a consistent basis. We're going to do pregame shows. And Friday, there's a chance we're going to have JD with us. And that one will be on Into the Knicks-Verse. So we're going to alternate every other game. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll swap channels. So Friday, I'll be on with George on Into the Knicks-Verse. And then after that, our next game is on what, Monday? Because we're off the weekend. I think Saturday and Sunday there's no games for us.
Is it? Is that right? Oh,
I think so.
Let's check that.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. There's no
You
games
might be
over
right.
the weekend.
You might be right.
Let me double check.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to check it here.
Because if that's the case, then Monday will be the next game, and then we'll chop it up on a pregame back here.
Yeah. One thing, I'm going to start dropping some more.
Pacers Monday.
Pacers Monday. All right. I'm going to start dropping some more general NBA topic videos from the viewpoint of like how it impacts the Knicks in general. I've done a few, but I'm going to start amping that up, ramping that up.
Yeah, you're better than me. I was going to drop a rookies video, and we don't even have rookies that are playing. I want to see how I'm going to put that into the lens of a Knicks fan. Hey, look at all these great rookies. Why don't we play our own?
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, hopefully we'll see Grimes play some minutes tonight.
Fingers crossed. It'll be a good time to do so.
In a victory garbage time. How about that? That'd be awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. There's no Knicks games Saturday and Sunday.
Yep. Next game after that weekend is on Monday against the Pacers. So thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah. Make sure you check into George at Into the Knicks-Verse, and make sure you subscribe here at Sports Fox TV. I'm Quis, that's George, and we're out. I do my sign off, and I'm so far from the thing to end the live. It's like crazy. Like we're live right now too. It take too long.
Hey, did you hear the one about the? No.
It's taking forever. I don't know why I sent it. Yeah.
StreamYard.
Doom, 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 doom,
this is
doom.
Bonus
doom.
coverage. We're just behind the scenes from here.
Yeah, right. Let me see if it's still going on. Okay, there it goes. It's off now.
It's off now.
Yeah.
Doesn't it say like I get a message on my end that says?
Oh no, I think. Oh, we're still going.